Hey, this is John from Alloy 211. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the ADE Advanced Optics Inc. Tactical Reflex Dot Sight. Recently, I've been thinking about putting some red dot sights on a couple of my firearms, partially because red dot sights have become a lot more affordable for something that is actually quality and can be useful. At one time, to get a red dot sight that was anything worthwhile, you're going to have to spend a couple $100s. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty iffy. Almost guaranteed to not hold zero and all that sort of thing. But nowadays, there are a lot more on the economic or frugal side of the red dot market. I mean, some people might say cheap, but I really don't like the word cheap. I prefer to say frugal because, well, it just doesn't sound quite so tacky. And also because I used to love the show The Frugal Gourmet, which used to be on PBS. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that, but it was an awesome show. Anyway, back to our frugal reflex red dot sight. Now, what I was kind of looking for, hoping to get, was something in the $100 range of quality, but because I'm cheap, frugal, I didn't want to spend $100 for a $100 quality red dot sight. So I went looking on Amazon and I found this mini red dot sight with a riser. Look at the side of the box here. This is the ADE Advanced Optics. ADE Advanced Optics is registered trademark of the ADE Advanced Optics in the United States of America and selected countries. Designed in Oregon, USA. Made in China. And then we have the website for them down there. We have, I believe that's an elk. Another tactical reflex dot sight here on the side with the website. And then, is that a jaguar? Or I think that's a leopard. I think it might be a leopard. It's hard to say. Anyway, I know for sure that that is a lion. So, and I know for sure that you would probably never use this sight for hunting or just encountering any of these well, and now they're all very dangerous animals. So this was around $30 for the micro red dot and a riser. I was interested in getting a riser with it too. So let's go ahead and open the box up. Have instructions. As we went over in the laser bore sighter video, if you watch that, instructions can be important. This is pretty important, kind of. At least it tells you about the thing, so you probably should read it. I've not actually read that myself. Here's your feedback is important to us. And then we have our micro red dot in this awesomely janky plastic bag. There we go. Little rubber caps here. Nice ADA or ADE. Let's see, we have our riser. With a quick detach. And I'm not exactly thrilled about this. I mean, I did look at this a little bit already. And this quick release is problematic, to say the least. Problematic as some people's high school Halloween parties from 1978. Okay. Also comes with a battery I just threw across the table. Battery. Cardboard for the battery. Lens cloth. Always got to have the lens cloth. You want to make sure you keep your lenses clean. Battery. Let's see what else we have in here. Oh. And the ubiquitous Allen wrenches, because everything we buy comes with its own set of Allen wrenches. Eventually, I'm going to have about 5 or 10 sets of Allen wrenches, just in Allen wrenches I get from stuff like this. So, let's go ahead and pull the caps off, kind of take a little look at it overall, because you can't see anything with that on there. So, we have a windage knob, elevation. We have our settings for our dot. Let's get a good look at this, because when I was looking at this earlier, I didn't really care for some of the things I saw here. Now it might be kind of hard to see, but if you look, I'm going to go ahead and use one of these supplied Allen wrenches. It might be hard to see in the video, but you can actually see a little bit where this lens doesn't look like it's perfectly glued in there. And there's a little bit of overage of adhesive or something here at the bottom of it. So, and you can see, you can't really see it on camera there. I can see it from down in here, but you can see it down in there. It doesn't seem to affect anything with it. so that's good. Oh look, I fogged up the, ooh, that's not a good sign. I can see it actually fogged up on the inside when my hand was there too. You can kind of see it from there. Well, let's go ahead and use our cloth, wipe that bad boy off. Now we don't have any sort of coating on here. We don't seem to have a bunch of excess adhesive or anything like that, at least on this side, so that's good. It feels relatively heavy, so probably would be somewhat durable. I mean, if I threw it like a rock. We have 4 Allens here on the bottom, I guess it's this one, we can either use this just like this, you know, low mount, or we can take these 4 off, maybe, and I do actually like this, having looked at another red dot. I have another red dot over here that was on the BCA 7.62 by 39 upper that my buddy has, and he said that's a $100 red dot. I looked it up. It is a $100 red dot that he purchased and had on there, so I thought it'd be a good comparison to, say, our $30 red dot, because I said, you know, I wanted something about a $100 red dot in quality. Okay, so you have your base you can now screw on there. Oh, left the screws in there. I always hate it when they do this sort of thing where you now have to put the screw on the end of the Allen wrench and then like fish it in there and then make sure you have it lined up. I mean, it's fine, but when it's just out in space, it's not like drilled down into something. It's always nice to drop your Allen screws down in there a couple times. Have to get them out. This isn't so bad. I mean, you can just flip it over, but some things aren't so easy. And this is definitely something you don't want to cross thread a screw into, because, well, once you do that, it is kind of shot. And you spent $30 on it, so why would you want to spend any more money trying to fix it? Like I said, I do really like this because once you screw this on here, it is pretty solid. You don't have to worry about it coming loose from the riser, so that's nice. There we go. Maybe. Kind of, sort of. That's pretty good. Okay, there we go. That's on there. Pretty lightweight, actually. Kind of more lightweight than what I would think. Now, what I don't like about this, there we go. Now, it seems to work okay. You have a button here, a lever you push to disengage it. There you go, flip it over. Now it's loose. Problem comes in that there are 2 springs. So we can see it from here. Ah, there you can see them. You have a spring here and a spring here. There are little pockets. There's a pocket in the outside portion and on the mount itself that those fit into. But if this comes just a little too far out, those springs will also come out. And when that happens, then they're not going to work correctly, and they're actually a big pain in the butt if you can't find them. So, I mean, you have to get new ones. It's not that bad, or you can find them. But still, it's kind of a bad design that it's something that you would release and retension, they could come apart. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at that ATS3 tactical micro red dot that's on the 7.62 by 39 BCA upper. Now, I like this. It's got a coated lens. Say we have windage, elevation, and if you look at this, you can't see any sort of adhesive or anything. That lens is really held in there. Same thing with this. It all looks really good. Oh, how about we have it in front of the camera? There we go. This lens is not going to come out or move or probably anything like that. Same thing with this. So that's nice to see. Really like that, because one of the things I'm worried about with use our fancy little cloth, with our cheaper optic, looking at these lenses, is that if we put this on something with a lot of recoil, they may just pop out. Only that didn't even wipe off very well. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Much better. So let's go ahead, and one of the reasons why I wanted to get our $100 red dot out was just to look at the difference in intensity between the dot itself. Because really, other than what kind of clarity they have, how about I just show you the wrong ends of them at the same time? You know, what kind of clarity they have overall, which in all reality, yes, this $100 one seems to have a little bit clearer optic, but pardon me, nothing significant, nothing that you could really say you could tell a difference in clarity on. So, but let's go ahead and get something that something that the dot will show up on. Not that it won't show up on the orange, it shows up on the orange, just not nearly as well. Okay, we'll go ahead and start off with our $30 Amazon red dot, or green dot. It does have green and red dots. We'll go ahead and start off with the lowest intensity of the red. And then I have to get it lined up so you can see it. Oh, you know what would be really, really helpful? Because that is going to be really low intensity until you put the battery in it. Now, I'm not really a big fan of the way this is held in place. The $100 one does actually have kind of a neat system for that, which I'll show you for a second, or in a moment. Right after I cross screw this cap on here. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now it is kind of hard, there we go. Maybe. Okay, so that is our number 1 red dot. And then it's our number 2. It's pretty big. Oh, there we go. Number 3. And really they do get brighter from 1 to off. Yeah, there you go. There's the 3 reds. Now we have our greens. Which I actually do like that green. It's kind of nice. Again, a pretty big dot. I don't know how many, like the actual size of it, but it's not small. There you go. But it is easy to see. It's pretty bright. You're going to pick it up. Let's go ahead and actually take something white. Because it's kind of, with the red dot itself, white can always be your lighter colors. There we go. Yeah, see, like on white, you can't see the number 1 really at all. Let's get a bit of a shadow in there so we can make sure that we're on it. Yeah, see, it pretty well disappears. Let's go ahead and take it to 3 since it just disappeared there on the, yeah. But see, on the number 3 intensity, you can still see it on the white. Okay, now to compare that, let's go ahead and shut this off. I have a real problem with killing these batteries. So luckily, I found a bunch of damaged ones on sale at the store, so I bought them at a very cheap price. Okay, now this is our $100 red dot. It's turned off at the moment. And we'll see, we'll go ahead and start off with the white. And we're not going to be able to see this at all. So we'll start off with the white and on 11. Going high to low. Now, as you can see, it's pretty bright. You can see it easily on the white. And again, a fairly big dot. Now, it doesn't look that big when you're looking through it, but on camera, it definitely looks that big. 10. What I noticed with this one, it's got 11 settings, but I kind of noticed from 10 or 11 to 6, it's about the same. 9, 8, 7. This is really exciting. Or 6. Yeah, now we're on 5. Sorry, it's really exciting. Oh, you miscounted. Exciting. 5 is you're starting to be able to barely see it. 4, can barely see it. 3, yeah, you can't really see it. 2, pretty well gone. And one is gone on the white. But you can't see it. If I can get it back. Can't see the one on the black. Well, let's try the 2. Or 3. Oh, there it is. Don't worry though, it's way easier to line these up when you're actually, have them on the rifle and you're looking at them. There we go. So there's 3, 2, and 1. You can barely see it on the black, but you can see it. So, you compare our super cheap Amazon Red Dot, at least in brightness, to our kind of known quantity over here of the ATS3 Tactical. Then they seem to be about as bright. This seems to be a little heavier, but about the same. I mean, ergonomically, they're designed about the same. The $30 does sit up a little bit higher, I think, but not much, about the same. And it does have a quick detach. Now, this quick detach could actually be a liability because it may not work that well and it may not really be as cool as what it seems to be. The one thing that is nice, and one of the things I do really like about this opposed to the AT3 Tactical, is the way this base attaches. This just has a locking side, a clamp, loosen it up and you slide it in and out. Not to say that that's bad and not to say that's not effective, but I do kind of like having the 2 different bases to choose from. Now let's go ahead, before we finish up, let's look at the elevation and windage knobs on this. And it's your pretty standard elevation and windage knobs, but they aren't marked. That's something I didn't really like. I mean, or should know, hopefully. I shouldn't say that. Hopefully these are as you would expect, and this is elevation and this is windage. Let's go ahead and grab our fancy super multi screwdriver and just kind of see. Oh yeah, it's got good solid clicks. I mean, you don't have any sort of little graph around it, but it makes a good solid click with each turn. Oh yeah, feels pretty good. So now, just to compare that to what you could expect from something that's definitely higher end. Okay, now again, it looks pretty much the same, except this one is marked up and tells you which way is up. And this one is marked right and which way is right. So I'm sure it says in the instructions, I guess we could read in the instructions. And you would assume that this is probably the same, probably up. But you never know, it could be different, and it is a little frustrating. Maybe you want to take some magic marker, something like that, mark it yourself. I guess for $30, that's what you get. You have to mark your windage and elevation knobs yourself. Now, the one concern I do have about our $30 optic is that it is not going to hold up to recoil. Now, the first thing I'm going to mount this on will be the GSG MP40P, so that's going to be 9mm. I'm not too worried about that. But then I'm probably going to throw it on the long-barreled AK and see how it holds up to that, which I think that'll be a lot harder on it than the 9mm. So over time, we'll see if a $30 optic is worth it. So far, if you're going to put this on a 22 or a pistol caliber carbine, now barring that it doesn't hold up to that recoil, which I'll find out, but so far, if I were looking for a cheap optic for, like I said, a 22 pistol caliber carbine or a pellet gun, something like that, I would definitely check this out and see how it held up. Because although there are definitely some things that aren't quite as nice about this compared to a $100 Micro Red Dot, it definitely is serviceable for something like a 22 or a pistol caliber carbine or a pellet gun. So if you like this video and maybe it helped you decide on whether you wanted to buy your ADE Advanced Optic Micro Red Dot, or maybe it helped you decide that you didn't want to buy it, either way, I'd appreciate a like. If you watch some of my other videos and enjoy those too, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. So thanks and have a great day.